Welcome back. Today's hopefully the day Gary is running. Would have been running last week, but you know, shipping is really screwed up lately, and yeah, we're needing some fittings, some hose. But today I'll make it happen. We're gonna rig it up if we have to and get Gary running. So on the agenda for today, get the fuel lines made and finished to the regulator here, all tied up, prime the engine with oil. I have some braking oil to throw in there. Go on back, remove both fuel filters and check them out, make sure nothing's going on there. I have not checked them at all last year at all. I mean, been running the piss out of that 2 valve. And hopefully the fittings show up for the radiator. If they don't, I have a way to rig it up with some the fittings I have, but they stick out way too far and they'll hit the bumper. So I'm hoping the low profile ones come in. Yeah, old fuel's been drained, and got 6 gallons over here to get Gary started with, and tested it about 80, well, about 76 or so percent. So not horrible. It'll do the job. It's not too far off. I've seen way worse. Eventually Gary will be running off E98 off the barrel. That's a while from now. Then we just got to get in the computer, type in some sensor settings to recalibrate my throttle position and other little things, just check over. Turn the key, prime them up, make sure there's no leaks, and hopefully turn key and something good happens out of this. So we'll go from there.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't.
Well, fuel lines are done for right now. They turned out decent. Not quite what I'm looking for on looks and everything. Everything's just routed all over the damn place, but that's kind of just how it is. Went to the post office. My fittings showed up. I'm glad they did, because I do not want to have to rig up my lines back here. So we'll get them on and get the line here cut to size, length, and then get the battery in the rear.
To rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
So yeah, I just got my fuel filters off here, checking them out, just getting them opened up. So my setup on my car, it's from the fuel tank, it goes down to the 75 micron, then the pump, external pump, then to a 10 micron. So I'm pulling them apart. Before I pull them apart, dump all the fuel out and just try to blow some air through it. This one flows just fine, and after checking it out, it looks good. It's catching things like it's supposed to be. So that one just needs cleaned out and put back in. Then we get down to the 10 micron here. Kind of throwing off a little bit. You can see how nasty this one is. Of course, it's catching things. I cannot blow through it at all. Probably from just sitting over the winter time with some fuel in it, of course. But I'll get this one, probably just throw this one in the trash. No reason to take a chance on that, even trying to clean it, especially with corrosion on it. But I've got a brand new filter here I've had for a while. I'll just buy an extra one again. I was kind of waiting for something like this to happen. But I'm actually kind of surprised that this one's still, this stainless is still in good shape, and this here is not. I'm not sure if the quality of this is not as good of the fuel. I think it's Fuel Lab. Yeah, Fuel Lab filters. So apparently their filters are a little more better quality than their Aeromotive filters. So I may buy another Fuel Lab filter housing and put a 10 micron in it and see how long it lasts. Well, let's get this cleaned up and put back in the car.
Was stressed out. Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle.
Well, the battery's hooked up, so gonna flush the fuel system a little bit, then hook up them lines.
Out of it if I ever found it, try to sell it, never sell out of it, I probably only sell one.
Well, we'll turn the key, see if that leak's at least fixed, and if another one pops up. I think I saw something dribbling down here earlier. Son of a bitch. Fuck. Oh yeah. We got leaks all right. Well, this is the luck I have when I'm trying to build shit. Yep. So that leak right there, I took this fitting back off, looked it over. Like, all right, well, I'll just try to cinch it down a little more. Hell, I hardly even turned on a little bit more. And it just pushed right out the back. So I'm officially out of like 90s. And that's exactly what I need to fit there. So I'll have to look around and see if I even have something laying around. I have no freaking idea. That's just my fucking luck. Well, after several headaches later, I think we're ready to fire the engine. I had a problem with my throttle position sensor not reading at all. It was brand new from a couple years ago. I've never used it until today, and it's junk. So you throw that freaking thing away. I tested to make sure nothing was wrong with my old sensor, which does not bolt on to this Wilson throttle body, but got a new one on. Water's in it. It's not leaking anywhere, thank God, anymore. Just on the fuel side, I need to change some things, but we'll go ahead and turn the key and crank it over. The engine has been filled with oil and primed, externally primed, so the motor has not cranked at all. It's basically, I take this fitting off right here and I have an external pump, and I just pump my oil through. So it works out really good. All my sensors are calibrated, throttle position's calibrated. Let's get everything hooked up and linked and crank it over and see what happens. All right, so you turn the key on. Fuel's primed. I'm gonna leave my 2-valve fuel settings in there and just see what it does. The engine may high idle. I have the throttle body open to where I think it'll be all right, but I have no idea. So I've got everything ready to turn it down if need be. So we are linked. So we're gonna crank it over and see what happens. Well, there's life there. Well, I'll open the throttle body up a little more. All right, we'll try this again. Try again. All right, we'll fast forward. It's nighttime. Doing some diagnosis on Gary. Nothing too terrible overall. Just the injectors are stuck. Did fire the car up after I got the fuel leaks fixed. Got fluids or got water in it. Had one little water leak. Tighten that fitting up. No big deal. So yes, I got the car running. Was popping off slow. Finally started up. Definitely running rough. And it wasn't just missing on one cylinder. It was like damn near all of them. It was honestly running on 3 cylinders because I unplugged injector at a time and coil at a time to figure out what was going on which side. And the coils were working good. And I figured out which cylinders were firing good and the other ones that were not. And I'm like, well, we'll shut her down and throw some seafoam in the tank. Get that all mixed up, cycle the key several times, get it all stirred up, and then fire it back up and let the car run. Get some decent heat in it, then shut it back off. After I shut it off, let it sit for about half an hour so that the seafoam can do a little bit of work. And just, you know, turn the key one more time and see what happens. Honestly, it worked pretty well. Every cylinder came back to life, but cylinder number 4. And it was definitely an injector issue. Last year, when I tore the car down, the injectors were put in a Ziploc baggie and in the toolbox, so it's not in the, you know, any moisture getting corroded and all that. But E85 was ran through it and they were not cleaned, which is my own fault. So lesson learned there. I'll start sending stuff off to be cleaned, or I'll possibly buy my own little flow bench or whatnot, or some type of cleaner to clean them properly. But that's day 1 of getting Gary to run. I mean, this is just stuff that we all go through, and we try to get our cars to run. We always have them shitball days, but things are, we're gonna get there. Things are looking up. This is a little funny deal. Well, since I'm got all the injectors out, I'm like, well, how am I gonna get all those soaked and cleaned? Well, I have all of them in an old thermos that I have, and I actually ran Starla here for a couple hours, basically incubating them motherfuckers right back here in this old, like I said, snap-on thermos. I tied a zip tie around the injector that was having some issues, so I don't forget which one's which, of course. But did some tests on them. They are starting to loosen up. Made my own concoction of solvent, and seems to be working out really good. Something I usually do. Yeah, we're not gonna take a sip of this. This might just fucking kill you. Might cure that corona. Might want to come get some. But tomorrow morning, we'll take the injectors out and camera fucking thing. Anyways, we'll get the injectors back out, put back on Gary, turn that fucking key, and breathe life into that turbo snail. So just hang with me. We're getting there. Tomorrow's that day.
Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's Blurry Face and I